Hey guys, welcome back to Fantasy Tipped. Julian here for a special episode of Fantasy Tipped. This is one where I let you know which players you should be selling high on and buying low on if you're making trades in your fantasy hockey league. This is one way that you can really improve your roster by buying low on guys who maybe started the season off a little bit slowly, but are for sure going to turn it around. Before we jump into it, guys, drop a like and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And if you do want to take that support to the next level, well, you can hit that join button down below on YouTube or in the description below. There is a link to my Patreon. If you join my Patreon, you get access to some perks like early access videos, as well as being able to DM with me whenever you have a question on fantasy hockey. And I usually answer pretty quickly. Let's jump right into the video now and let's take a look at some sell high candidates. And first on the list is Nick Schmaltz, and there shouldn't be any surprise that he's here on this list. In the majority of leagues, he's ranked really highly. With my league settings, he's ranked 28. He has started off the year sizzling hot. He's got 19 points in 16 games, but I don't believe that's particularly sustainable. He's never really gotten more than 60-ish points in the season before, and even though this year that may change a little bit, I'm not expecting him to be this hot down the stretch. It is a career year for him, so that definitely helps his motivation, but I can't imagine he stays this good. His career shooting percentage is 13.8. This year he's shooting at 18%. I don't think that's going to continue. Also, his on-ice shooting percentage is 13.2%, which is generally pretty unsustainable. During his career, it's always been around 10.2%. Don't get me wrong, his deployment is great, and the fact that he's kept power play 1 with Peterka joining the team is great for him. But he's always been a little bit more of a support guy than a stud himself. I think that this is a great time to sell high on Nick Schmaltz. Dawson Mercer is the next guy I have on this list, and he's somebody that you need to sell ASAP. He's a big flashing red light. Sell him now before he starts to really slow down. He's shooting right now at almost 30%, at 29.6%, whereas his career average is less than half of that at 14.7%. His even strength on ice shooting percentage is 15.1%, and his PDO is 106.4. Basically, if you guys are not familiar with advanced stats, that means he's getting insanely lucky. His career on ice shooting percentage is 9.8 for reference. So he's like 1.5 times lucky. Now, with this hot start, he's worked himself onto line 2 and power play 2, which is great. So he could have a decent rest of season, but I'm really not expecting him to have an elite rest of season like he's had so far this year. You could potentially grab an actual slow starting stud for him right now. The next sell high is Kiefer Sherwood, and unlike Dawson Mercer, you don't need to sell Kiefer Sherwood. If you have hits in your league, he's super valuable every single night for that floor for those hits. But if you're expecting goals like he's scored so far this year to continue the rest of the year, that's absolutely not going to happen. He's shooting right now at a shooting percentage of 30.3%. Meaning just about 1/3 of his shots are going into the net, which is super unsustainable. His career average was 11.9%, and he was shooting at 13.5% last year, just for reference. He has 4.8 goals above expected right now. So, things are probably going to level out a little bit and regress to the mean. And while his points might still be fairly consistent, his goals will definitely go down. And if you can get a stud for him, I'd say go for it, especially if you're in a league that doesn't have hits and you're selling him just as a guy that's scoring goals. The next sell high guy on this list is Jacob Trouba, and I do like Jacob Trouba a lot. I've been an advocate for Jacob Trouba for many, many years. But this year, oh my God, has he ever started on a heater. He's shooting as a defenseman with a shooting percentage of 15.4%, which is absolutely crazy. In his career, he's shot average 4.4%. So he's scored 3 times the amount of goals he should have so far. His on-ice shooting percentage is 14.7%, showing that he's getting quite lucky considering his career is 9.4 and his PDO is 110, meaning he's just been insanely lucky. That's a super, super, super high PDO, and it literally tells you that he's been lucky AF. Guys, last year he only had 14 points in 77 games, and this year he's already got 10 points in 15. Now, obviously, things have changed in Anaheim. Greg Cronin isn't the coach anymore. Clearly, that guy sucked. This team is just so much better and more fun to watch than ever. So even though I do think he's going to have a significantly better season than last year, if you can get a stud for him like a Dahlin or a Josi or even a stud forward for him, don't even think twice about it. Now, obviously, some leagues people aren't dumb enough to give up big studs like that. But still, if you can get a half-decent defenseman who's been consistent for many years over a guy like Trouba who might really regress, you can consider doing that as well. The next sell high is Morgan Geekie, and he's ranked 39 in my leagues. And this is an interesting one because he's probably the most sustainable out of the group that I've already mentioned, because of the elevated shooting percentages that are really limited to the power play. Basically, his shooting percentage is very, very, very high is what I'm trying to say. 28.2%. Now, that's pretty much unheard of. But last year he did turn in a shooting percentage of 22% on the year, and his career is 15.6. So yeah, obviously the dude's a shooter. And honestly, this is pretty much all attributed to the power play. Everything about that power play is just going right now. Everything is going in the net. His even strength numbers aren't really that off-putting. They're perfectly normal. If that power play can stay insanely hot, he could be fine the rest of the year. But if that power play starts to slow down, that's when Morgan Geekie's value will start to decline. And if you can get a stud for him, given how much he's scoring right now, I'd absolutely deal him. Jumping into buy low candidates now, and the first one is no surprise here. It's Artemi Panarin of the New York Rangers. He's only got 10 points through 16 games, and that includes 7 points that were in 2 of the games. His shooting percentage this year is a measly 6.3%, which is really bad considering his career shooting percentage is 14.5%, more than double that. So, things are not going great for him, but the numbers show that things should turn around, especially when you look at his on-ice shooting percentage, which is 6.5%, and his PDO is 94.7%, showing that he's been super unlucky, and things should turn around for Panarin. Buy low on him now from a frustrated owner. Next is JT Miller of the New York Rangers, and he only has 8 points through 16 games. It's not great, but at least his peripherals have still been pretty decent. His shooting percentage, though, is only 7%, which is less than half his career of 14.8%, so that's going to turn around. And his on-ice shooting percentage is only 9%, which is a little bit low compared to his 10.6 career average, and his PDO is 97.2, showing that he's been a little bit unlucky this year. So things should definitely turn around. Potentially now that Trocheck is back, that team could maybe get back on the right track. In Dallas, Jason Robertson is the next guy who is a buy low, and he's actually not even doing badly. In my leagues, he's ranked 52, but he could be doing a lot better. He's quite literally dead last in the league in goals above expected at negative 6.3. His shooting percentage right now is 4.8%, whereas his career is 14.6. So he's like shooting at like a third of his career average, meaning that he basically should have 6.3 more goals right now, which would be absolutely crazy. And if he can turn things around and start scoring some goals, this dude's going to be absolutely lights out the rest of the year. The next guy is Zeev Buium, and you can probably buy this guy for pennies on the dollar. People might even be dropping this guy, but don't let that fool you. He is going to be the power play one quarterback, hopefully soon in Minnesota. He started there, he did really well there, and for whatever reason, Minnesota decided to demote him to PP2. Spurgeon is on power play 1. Spurgeon's nowhere near as good of a power play 1 quarterback as Buium. I think Buium will get it back soon, and he's going to show how good he can be there and score lots of points. You can give up probably nothing for this guy right now. Rasmus Dahlin is my final buy low, and obviously he's in Sweden right now. I don't know how long he's going to be there, but some people might be getting frustrated with him considering he didn't have the most amazing beginning of season either. Through 14 games, he has 1 goal, 8 assists for 9 points, which isn't bad, but considering how early you probably drafted him, you probably were hoping for more. His shooting percentage, though, is only 2.6%, whereas his career average is 6.8. So he should have, instead of 1 goal, should probably have 3 right now. And his on-ice shooting percentage, this is the real kicker, is only 5%. That's super, super low, meaning that he's getting really, really unlucky. So when he gets back, guys, there's a real chance that he could go off like we are used to seeing from him. And he really could start catching fire and doing really well. So if you can send some low ball offers to the guy who has Rasmus Dahlin, he may just accept it considering the low start he's had, but he could realistically be a top 3 defenseman in the NHL this year, and I wouldn't be surprised at all. And that's it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, drop a like and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Hopefully you enjoy this extra content this week, and I'll catch you all in the next episode of Fantasy Tipped.